Hey everyone, it's Nelson Miller here with PA Creative. Welcome to the documentation for our Divi Events Calendar plugin. So we're going to be talking about the events feed in this video and specifically about the details. Now, the event details are things like the date and the time and the venue and all that stuff. There's a bunch of ways we can display that and style it. So let's talk about that, show you some of our demos, and just walk through a couple of the settings. All right, so we could start. I have a demo of some of them. In fact, I don't even have all of them. But here you can see how some things can look on the front end. And it's hard to label some of these. Here I say non-stacked details plain, and you'll understand that as we go. The details are just kind of showing as like I guess you could say as like a paragraph. They sort of just follow one after the other. Let's see here, they're stacked up so you can see each item is on its own line, right? So like date and then time and then the venue, the organizer, the price or whatever. Each item's on its own line. Down here we have labels added, so you can add labels. See, then we say date and then show the date and time and show that time. So labels, and then we have icons. So these are all options that work here for any of the layouts. I'm just showing you demos of different layouts here. Then we have one of both. So you have labels and the icons, and they're stacked. Here we have, and this again could be confusing, but now we're actually stacking the label above the data, right? So like here you can see the date is above the output of the date, right? The date label. Do we have more? Yeah, so icons, I don't really like that one as good. And then here, I mean, that looks fine. And the key thing is to remember there's different use cases for all of these. So like, don't be overwhelmed. Like by default, let's see, how will it look by default? In fact, let's do that. Here I have a new page. So if I say events like that, I can see events feed. Right there it's how it's going to look by default. In fact, we have the icon, the label, and things are stacked. So if you didn't want to change anything, you're fine. It looks pretty good. If I go down here in the content tab under elements, a lot of the settings here are under elements. Maybe we should rename that. So if maybe we'll rename that to details or something, but everything's here. Like, do we want to show the date? Probably. It's a calendar. You probably would want to show the date. The time, time zone, you may or may not want that. The location, organizer, all of these things you can adjust. You might not want the excerpt. You may not want the website or the button even, you might not want it. This call out box, see that? You can turn that completely on or off. We call it a call out box. It's really just a place to highlight the date and month and the year or whatever. You turn all that on. See that? Pretty cool. By default, we have it like that. Prepositions and dividers, that would be more for when next one is off. So if this one's off, right? Watch this. Little things show up or hide, like at like May 25th, 2021 at 4 p.m. at the location, right? So if prepositions and dividers, things like that. Stack event details, watch what happens. Boom, they go to their own line. Now when stack event details is on, then you can change these other things like, I don't want labels, I just want things stacked. I want that off, I just want it plain simple. Great. Or here's labels, here's icons, here's both. And then here's that setting where you can actually stack those. So whichever ones you have on here, obviously if it's none, it's going to be a weird thing, but there you go. So by default, it looks like that, and that looks pretty good. So those are the options for displaying your details. This works in any of the layouts, which we talk about in a separate video. Whether you're on a list layout, everything would apply, or a cover layout. Everything applies the same there. That is no effect on that except for like the call out box. But there you go. The details have all kinds of design settings. We talk about design settings in a completely different video, but like the details right here if I wanted to add a background to this area. We call it the details area. You could do that. You could do spacing, make that rounded. You could add, spacing around the sides of it like this, right? All kind of stuff that you could do with the details. And then of course you can actually design the colors right here. In fact, we have the link color, right? You may want that to be different for some reason. The icon color and all the fonts, text, right? All that, what I would consider standard stuff. So there you go. That's a look at the details, some ways you can display details in the events feed. Hope you found this helpful. And like I said, be sure to check out all of the other videos that we have here about this particular module and the plugin in general.